Good morning, folks, and it looks like there's some reshoots for The Rise of Skywalker, amongst other bits of news that have come across the Wired website. There's about 3 stories here. So, the Rise of Skywalker reshoots are happening apparently. And here we go. The first heading here is apparently additional shoots are underway, reporting that Black Park in the UK has been closed off for either reshoots or pickups, with an X-Wing fighter being part of the additional shots. Apparently, there's a notice the shoot might continue through early September, which feels unexpectedly late considering the movie is scheduled to hit theaters in December. If true, expect some very light nights for editors and the visual effects team. But don't worry about the movie having reshoots this late in the game. These days, such things are common, so this is unlikely to be some kind of Rogue One situation where the entire movie gets significantly changed after the first pass to production. Well, to be honest, this isn't a piece of software where you have to go through user testing and someone says this is good or this is bad and they say why, and then someone reevaluates the scope of the project, see if there's enough budget. This is literally after everything's been done, they're starting to put the movie together in post and they go, oh wait, this isn't going to work. And what we thought didn't work. So it could be as simple as, hey, we have to reshoot this scene so we get a higher quality shot or more time or more angles or whatever. Or it could be, oh yeah, we have to rewrite this entire scene. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work with the users, whatever the case may be. So this could be very minor. It could be gigantic. We don't know. Reshoots are always a bad thing, which tells us that either the script was bad or the initial production was bad, and the people in charge weren't expecting this kind of mistake, or the filmographer or whomever was doing the storyboarding to project what they should have shot did not get shot. So this is a mistake. This is never a good thing. Okay, unless some writer director came in who was a genius and says, okay, this is the right way to do it, and everyone agreed with him. Like, that wouldn't happen. It's like, let's spend millions more bucks to fix this mistake. It just wouldn't occur. Third story is an unexpected adventure in Rise. The real deal is where Daisy Ridley, who's currently doing press for an appearance in Ophelia, her latest movie, has been teasing the upcoming Rise of Skywalker in the vaguest of terms. Genre-wise, I think I've talked about this before. It's different from the other 2 movies, which will become clear when the film comes out. It's quite emotional. So apparently, The Last Jedi wasn't emotional. It was just sort of meh. There's a different drive from the previous 2 films, but there's a lot of fun. Because, right, The Last Jedi was like kind of fun. I guess Canto Bight was fun for Rose. I don't know. Oh, she did like shooting TIE fighters. That's true. On Crate. I really missed John during the last one, but we're back together, and now Oscar's part of it. I get to act with people. Wow, what a great job. She got to do fun things with other actors aside from Mark Hamill, which was oh so much fun. To me, it felt like the kids going on an adventure. Oh, you mean like what adventure space operas are supposed to be? Like Star Wars. This lines up with previous statements made by director J.J. Abrams and others about the tone of the movie, and also rumors that Rey, Finn, and Poe would spend the majority of the movie together. Now, if only we could find out more about the rest of the movie. Well, to find out it's fun and adventurous is like, wow, you guys really figured out what Star Wars is now after 3 movies. Congratulations. The throne room duel, this is the third one. The throne room duel was just a warm-up for Rey and Kylo. Elsewhere, Ridley is now confirming that yes, the lightsaber fight between Rey and Kylo Ren wasn't just something staged for a Vanity Fair photo shoot. What? I would hope not. Jeez. Like, Ryan, we need to get a photo shoot with Vanity Fair. They're coming in. Can you maybe put a scene in your movie? And Ryan's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. That would explain a lot of things. But this is a very bad way of putting this in context. But is an important part of the finished movie itself. We have a great fight, she said on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. Okay. Oh, it's a podcast. Cool. And I was really happy that the Vanity Fair pictures did show a bit of it. It's a great fight, like I've become such a better fighter. Okay. And they made the lightsabers lighter. They made the lightsabers lighter. So it actually looks like we're swinging light, not like heavy, heavy blades. This has always been a point of contention with lightsaber duels. Lightsabers apparently are weightless, so it's extremely light, If you have a weapon which is so deadly and so light, you wouldn't be swinging it around like a sword. You'd be swinging it like a very deadly object. You don't want to get anywhere near your body, and you'd probably use it more like you were a fencer, someone who would have this thing as far away from their body, and you'd use it to stab, not to slice, because there's no need to slice. You would just try to wiggle your rapier as far away into the other person's body as quickly as possible. So all those samurai-style katana swings or longsword swings wouldn't really occur in the Star Wars universe, but that's what we've got. So apparently she's a better fighter because they're lighter. I don't know how much more light a piece of plastic can be when you're in training and when you're in filming. It's a very strange... Yes, I would imagine if when you train your weights are lighter, you would do things a lot faster. That doesn't necessarily make you a better fighter, or that the fighting choreographer is better. I would argue that yes, the choreographer would be a better skilled person than what would happen in The Last Jedi, because those fights were ridiculous, or at least what was happening with the Royal Red Guard people who were just flailing around and spinning and doing whatever nonsense. So yes, arguably, compared to Last Jedi, things would be better, but I doubt it's because she's a better fighter as a result of having a lighter lightsaber to work with. So it actually looks like we're swinging light. Like, again, you wouldn't need to swing light if we understand how these swords work. I think Shad Diversity made a video on that, of how lightsaber fights would actually work if you had a weapon that was lightless and extremely deadly, and you would just, like, the longest lightsaber would work apparently. So it feels really epic, and it felt epic even at the time. I don't know what an epic fight scene is, but obviously she's being emotional and hyperbolic, and that's fine. This suggests that those hoping for a redemptive story arc for Kylo Ren might end up just a little disappointed by what's on screen this December. Why? I mean, Kylo Ren has a cross hilt lightsaber thing. I doubt they made that any lighter. It's supposed to mirror, I would imagine, a longsword, but it's not exactly the point of how that works. So it's a silly design, I would imagine, for having a lightsaber, especially if you're crossing your blades, and these things are lightless, or very light, weightless rather, that it would just break the hilt, that the part that's not made of light or made of lightsaber blade. So it's like, unless you're going to go all the way with that descriptor of like, oh, it's very light, therefore it'll work. It's like, you wouldn't have lightsaber fights. You would just have one guy turns on his lightsaber, the fastest guy who could move into the person's body wins. So it wouldn't be as entertaining, but it would be more accurate. The Return of the Jedi did have a very last-minute about face for its central villain, so who can tell? Right, okay. Fine. We have a fourth story. The worlds of Rise of Skywalker are hot and pretty blurry. Yeah, this is based off a behind-the-scenes photo taken in very low quality, underscoring just how quiet it is out there in the Star Wars universe, making Star Wars made headlines with some blurry, indistinct photos that this is not really worth reporting on. It's just someone took some shots of a wall on, whatever. It's just like, yeah, okay, these are either artist renditions of keyframes or after the fact. It could be concept art. It could be a bunch of things. We're not sure. So it's not really a story. But the concept that there are reshoots that could go on until September, which is 3 months before the release of the movie, that somehow it's going to be a more entertaining movie because there's more people interacting in a fun way compared to the nihilistic tone that was Rian Johnson, and that because the props were lighter, she thinks she's a better fighter. I just like, okay, sure thing, Daisy. Anywho, this was the current news of the day. Have yourself a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.